Houston. Pulling up stats, you'll be pulling in stacks. Hitting bookies from the back with no Vaseline. I need green and upsea quantities for a fiend. Save the dreams for a king. This is H-Town, home of the lean. Astros is the team and we rock it. We rock Texans for life, you can't stop it. Together like brothers and Bets and Jets.
What's going on, sports fans? It's LJ from H-Town. Top of the morning, March 20th, 2023. Going live early in the morning just to talk some little NBA with y'all. Look to some future last couple of weeks in this month of March, going into April, going into the playoffs. You know, got a lot of interesting trends and props that we can jump on now towards the end of the month, see if we can make some cash, So I wanted to come on here for a little bit, top of the morning, and just chop it up with my people, so I can see if I can find us some money that we can enjoy for the rest of this month. I know we've been enjoying this NCAA tournament. I've been making a little bit of cash. I'm riding with Houston, of course. That's going to be my number one team that I'm going to back, But as far as other teams, I've been sprinkling and dabbling here and there. But that ain't what we're talking about today. We're talking about the NBA today, man. So let's get to, it's a light slate today. I think about, 4 or 5 games for the most part. So let's jump into this first game, man. We got a lineup on the Bulls going down to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers are laying 7.5. Total is 225. Now, when we look at this game, the Bulls, we're going to attack them first. 23-10 ATS in their last 33 games in the first half. 5-2 straight up in the last 7. They're 6-2 in their last 8 against the spread in the first half versus the East. 10-3 against the spread in the first half. Their last 13 games on the road. 9-4 ATS in the first quarter. Last 13 games on the road. So the Bulls have been scorching and been hot, especially early, playing the East. They've been playing the West the past week and a half or so. So they've been, fluctuating up and down for the most part. But when they play the East, they tend to perform, better. And they play the 76ers, like I just mentioned. The Sixers are only 10-14 against the spread in the last 24 games in the first half. So they don't tend to perform well. And I think the Bulls can come out early, jump on and cover that spread in the first half. But full game, I might have to just take the Sixers. I don't know about the spread. I think 7.5 is, a little bit steepy for me, but they're at home. They're usually money at home. And in the second half, the Sixers are 16-5-1 straight up in their last 21 games in the second half. 9-1 in their last 10. So Sixers may pull it out the full game, but I'm going to lean for the Bulls to come out early and often, show that they are going to compete in this Eastern Conference. And maybe they can surprise the Sixers early in the first quarter, first half. But towards the end of the game, the Sixers should prevail. They have been on a great winning streak. And I believe that they're trying to make us, a push for that number 1 seed to get to Boston. So we'll see how it all lands at the end. But as far as the first quarter, first half, Bulls have been money in this spot. So if you're looking to bet the Bulls, you're looking to make the money on that game, I would suggest first quarter, first half, Bulls, and then get out because the Sixers could pull it off at the end. All right, let's go to this next game. We got the Pacers going to Charlotte, and the Pacers are laying 1.5 as a road favorite. I don't know how often that happens, but I really didn't have too much in this game. I don't have no interest in it. But as far as the Pacers, I can tell you a trend that they are having right now. The last 6 home games have totaled 260 total on the total, and this total is 232.5. So this total should go over. But I think we're going to have to rely on Indiana to score most of the points. Charlotte, they don't have LaMelo, as we know, and I'm not sure how many points they have been averaging, the last couple of weeks. I don't keep up with the Hornets like that. But like I said, the Pacers, their games have been trending over. And if you want to take the Pacers, you should take them early because they're only 5-13 in their last 19 games in the second half, 1-7 in their last 8. So they tend to give up the lead, but they may can cover, may not. I don't know. I don't have any interest in it. So we'll just pass it for right now. But if you're interested, Pacers totals have been going over. Let's get to this one, man. We got the Wolves going to New York City, Madison Square Garden to take on these red hot New York Knicks, my friend. These Knicks are hot, ladies and gentlemen. 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. And when the Knicks are at home, they're pretty much money in the first quarter, first half. 24-11-1 against the spread in the first quarter at home. 26-9-1 against the spread in the first half at home. And they're 21-14-1 to the over first half at home. 7-2 at home versus the Western Conference. While Minnesota, I mentioned maybe Saturday, I believe, on J Money's show, that it hurts that Anthony Edwards is out of this lineup because the Minnesota was trending towards making a nice little playoff push. You know, I don't know how far they're down in the standings. I don't have it off the top of my head, but they were playing well, especially in the first quarter, where they were 9-4 ATS in the last 13 games in the first quarter. So they were coming out hot, scoring around 35, almost 40 points in the first quarter. They are 10-3 straight up in the first quarter on the road versus the East as well. But I just don't, without Anthony Edwards in that lineup, a lot of that offense is gone. You know, he was averaging, I think, almost 28 in the month of March alone. You know, he's averaging 26, 25 points on the season, I believe. So that's a lot of offense taken away. And, you know, he was starting to get his assists up. We were hitting the assist prop because the coach had called him out to start being more of a playmaker, you know, for your team. So he was catapulting to, you know, points and assists. Was his prop was going to start cashing for the most part. But he got injured. It's unfortunate. And I don't think Minnesota is going to be able to sustain that injury, especially in the Western Conference. But like I mentioned, if you want to take them early. But I don't think it's going to happen versus the Knicks today because the Knicks played well in this spot early. So we'll take the Knicks first quarter, first half. I took the first half the other day. They lost it, but they end up winning the game. So they're, you know, you never know with the Knicks. You know, you can trust the first quarter, first half at home. It just depends on, you know, what type of lead they have and who's having the hot hand. But as long as Bronson is in that lineup, the Knicks are bet on to me. So I'm gonna trust the Knicks take care of business today in the first quarter and the first half. And you know, they may cover the 8, but I really don't care about full game spreads. I like to get my money early because you never know what can happen at the end of the game. So we'll just stick to the first quarter, first half for now. My man Tone in the building. What up, Tone? Top of the morning, my friend. I know you cashed yesterday on that Lakers first quarter, so it's all about getting this money, my friend. So let's keep getting it, my guy, for sure. All right, let's go to this game right here, my guys. Who we got up next? Oh, I know who we had up next. We had the Mavs in Memphis. I don't have the banner, but we have the Mavericks in the Memphis. And when Memphis is at home, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress it enough. That first half is money with Memphis. I'm telling you right now. 40, 28, and 2 against the spread in the first quarter. They're 10-3 in their last 13 straight up in the first quarter. 12-8 against the spread in the first half in their last 20 games. 13-7 straight up. 17-3 straight up versus the West in the first half at home. And who they play today at home? The Dallas Mavericks, who are 12-21-2 against the spread in the first half on the road. 1-6-1 in their last 8 games in the first quarter straight up overall. So, how we're attacking this game? Memphis first half. Nothing else to think about, ladies and gentlemen. And not to mention, that's going to segue into what I want to talk about as far as the futures of games that we can look ahead. And Memphis was on the top of the list, my guys, because they have Dallas tonight at home. They have the Rockets on a back Wednesday night and Friday night at home. They have the Grizzlies, they go on the road Sunday versus the Hawks, but then they come back home versus the Magic, and then they have the Clippers twice at home for the rest of the month. So Memphis has 6 games at home total for the rest of this month, including tonight versus Dallas. So all 6 of those games, ladies and gentlemen, take Memphis first half spread. Don't even think about it. Just bet it blindly and see how you come out at the end of the month. Because when they're at home, first half is where the money is made. And Ja's coming back too, so that adds extra incentive to what I'm saying as far as this trend for Memphis at home. Now, we do need Steven Adams back in that lineup to really take advantage of the Memphis, but we're just going to stick to the fact that first half at home is where they make their money, and we're going to continue to cash with them. First half at home, Memphis, 6 games this month. Keep track of it, and we will revisit this at the end of the month and see how we turned out. Memphis first half at home, take the spread. Don't even think about it. Now, we do have another game tonight as well. I didn't mention. We have the Kings and the Jazz. Now, I don't have a line right now for as the spread or the total, but I'm suggesting that we take the Kings as well for the rest of this month because Kings is probably the hottest team in the NBA in the Western Conference right now as we speak. Because the Kings are 8-2 in their last 10. They've won their last 3 games. They're 22-13 on the road. Let me say that again. 22-13 on the road. That is the best road record in the Western Conference. They're 27-14 in the conference, which is second behind Denver. Now, speaking of the Kings, man, when they come out early and they come out smashing. They are probably the second or third number 1 team scoring in the league right now. I'm not for sure off the top of my head, but I do believe they're either second or third, maybe 1. Who knows? I don't know. But I know they score a lot of points. They tend to give up a lot of points as well. But at the same time, we're going to stick to this trend that I noted for the most part for us, the Kings. First quarter, the Kings are 8-3-1 in their last 12 to the first quarter over. They're 9-3 in their last 12 first half ATS against the spread. They're 8-4 in their last 12 in the first half to the over. 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 road games. They're on the road tonight versus Utah. And they're 12-5 against the spread as a road favorite. So tonight they play Utah. I believe they will take care of business again. They will continue the streak. And as long as the Kings, especially at home, I do believe that the home is where we can get the most money. But on the road right now, let's take advantage of the streak because they are 6-0 ATS in their last 6 games on the road. So let's just ride the streak on the road. But when they come home, we're going to smash them as well because they have the Celtics on Tuesday. And I don't bet Celtics game. But I don't know. I may have to break my rule that night because I want to get as much Kings money as possible as I can right now while the iron is hot. So they have the Boston Celtics on Tuesday night. So they're on a back-to-back. Then they go Friday. They play the Suns at home, which is going to be a good game. They got the Jazz again at home next Saturday, March 25th. They got Minnesota at home that Monday as well. They got the Blazers on the road twice to close out the month. So these are all pretty much Western Conference games besides Boston. So the fact that the Kings are thriving in the West right now, they are going to be a bet on team for the rest of this month. So let's jump on the Kings. First quarter over, first half spread. Now, we can take the full game spread as well. I'm not letting anybody know. I'm not scared of it, but I like to pick the spots where they're being successful at. So we can jump in and out as we may. But Kings, first quarter over, first half against the spread is where they are making their money right now. So let's see who early bird get the first worm. You already know, Tone. Great minds think alike, my guy. You know, I'm up early capping these games, trying to find some money. So you already know what time it is. So now we do have another game that I didn't mention. And as you know, that's my free play today. I'm actually waiting to get some more data so I can make a full analysis on this game. But we have Golden State coming down to Toyota Center tonight to take on the Houston Rockets. Now, I got some preliminary numbers right now that Golden State, as a road favorite, which they are tonight, 12-3-1 to the over. No. Now, they played 3 times already, and the total has averaged 228 points. The Rockets, they have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home games this month so far, and the total has hit 225. Now, the total has came out at 237. That may be a little bit too high. Now, we took Golden State on the total that night versus the Hawks. That was my last free play, and we missed it by 2 points. So I wasn't mad that I made that bet because I feel that was the right bet. I just needed a bucket out of 48 minutes to cover that spread, that total spread, and we didn't get it. Hey, it happens. That's part of sports betting. We live with it. We move on, and we continue to keep thriving. So tonight, of course, we're going to take Golden State. We do know how they are on the road. We do know, but it's the Rockets, and the Rockets coming off a loss last night versus the Pelicans. They're on a back-to-back, and they got 2 of the greatest three-point shooters in the history of the NBA coming into Toyota Center tonight. And the Rockets give up the most turnovers in the league. They give up the most steals in the league. And they give up the most 3-pointers in the entire NBA. So it's going to be threes raining down tonight at Toyota Center, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just waiting to get the rest of the data so I can put my free play out later. So tune in later, put your notification on. I will be giving out that free play tonight, Golden State at Houston tonight. But as far as anything else, I just wanted to go over some games and I wanted to go over some trends. Now, I want to talk about the Clippers. The Clippers have 4 more home games this month. And when the Clippers are at home, the third quarter is where they make their money. 24-7-1 straight up in the third quarter at home since November. Now, that's a great trend right there. So let's remember that. The Clippers got 4 more home games, and we can carry this into the playoffs too. This trends just don't apply to the regular season. These are going to carry over into the playoffs. That's why we're getting all the data now. So when the playoffs come, we already know how we're going to attack these games. So Clippers at home, third quarter, 24-7-1 straight up at home since November. So note of that. Just take the Clippers. And also there's a trend that when they're at home versus the Eastern Conference, the first quarter goes under. But I don't know how many more Eastern Conference games they play at home. I will just have to fact check this right quick. They play the they play the Thunder Tuesday at home. It's a back-to-back. So they got the Thunder at home Tuesday and Thursday. Then they got the Pelicans at home Saturday. They got the Bulls at home next Monday. And then they have the Clippers. They go on the road for minutes on Memphis the last 2 games. So we have the Thunder twice, the Pelicans and the Bulls. 4 games at home. Take the Clippers in the third quarter. And that Bulls game, no, under first quarter when they play our Eastern Conference team. Now, Toronto played the Bucks last night, and that was an interesting game. I took Milwaukee first half. They missed it by 2 points, so I wasn't mad, but I came back in the second half, and we covered that spread and got our money back in that game because I love the fact that Milwaukee can be resilient enough to lose money in the first half, come back and get our money back in the second half. Now, the Bucks. They are 18-5-2 straight up in their last 24 games in the first half. Now, like I just mentioned, they didn't hit it last night. They're 10-3 against the spread in their last 13. So let's stay on it, especially at home. But I would trust that the Bucks can cover this first half for the rest of the month and hit that spread. Now, far as we already mentioned the Bulls, the Pacers we mentioned. Detroit. I know Detroit is probably the sorriest team in the East. As a matter of fact, they are the sorriest team in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to give them their credit for being the sorriest team in the Eastern Conference. But they are 9-4 in their last 13 games to the under in the first half. So that's a no for Detroit. If you want to just find some money wherever you can, take Detroit first half under. Let's just try to do it for this week, and let's see how it turns out and see if we can be profitable. Now, when we go to any or more trends, really none really stands out. I just want to talk about the ones that really stand out to me and we can take advantage of. But, anybody else? The Lakers last night, they took care of business versus Orlando, and the Lakers are 22-14 to the under first half at home. So they tend to keep these teams under their team total at home in the first half. So if you want to look for some money with the Lakers, I'm waiting for LeBron to come back. They do come back April 2nd, I believe. It's either 1st or 2nd. I know it's when the Final Four is here in Houston. So it's probably going to be, let's say, 2 weeks, not this weekend, but the next weekend. The Lakers come back here, and hopefully LeBron suit up. And I can see LeBron James on the court, probably for the last time. I don't know. Who knows what happens at the end of the season, but I want to make sure I can see the GOAT one last time in person at Toyota Center. I believe it's April 1st. I know it's a Saturday or a Sunday. It's the same time that the NCAA Final Four is here too. So it's going to be a nice weekend. So hopefully LeBron plays. But other than that, 22-14 to the under first half at home for the Lakers. Phoenix, they are 44-27 to the first half under overall. But they have been going over. I think it's just because of the teams that they've been playing. And it just hurts that Kevin Durant is not in the lineup. But hey, we'll have them in the playoffs, so we can look forward to that. So keep noted that the Phoenix are an under team, especially at home in the first half. And for as anybody else really doesn't stands out, I just want to talk about a couple of trends that we can take advantage of for the rest of this month. So appreciate y'all for joining in. If you missed what I said, you can always rewind. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at LJ Sports Media. I put out all my plays. I hit a 3 prop yesterday. I had Chris Paul double-double, James Wiseman double-double, and I had Jokic triple-double. Hit all 3. We're hot right now. Let's continue this streak, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever you missed today, rewind, hit me up, Twitter. Like I said, follow me. I have RaWordz podcast streaming now on YouTube. If you're watching right now, hit the like button. Hit the notification button as well, because when I go live, you're not going to want to miss this information that I have, because I cap these games intensively, and the NBA is what I do. So let's make some money, man. And like I said, I'm going to be back later to do my free play. I'm just waiting on a little bit more data so we can hit this Golden State and Houston game tonight. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be some money to be made tonight. The Golden State does not play well on the road, but they're going to get their fix tonight versus the Houston Rockets. So make sure you tune in later for my free pick. But till then, appreciate everybody for watching. LJ from H-Town. Let's get some money and let's cash, and we out.
Yeah, RAW, words being served, no concern.